You're most welcome to my podcast. My name is Bravo, and it's always a pleasure having you on our podcast. You will be motivated, inspired, and encouraged right where you are. Once again, I am here to make you have that great information that you're always looking for. Before we dive in, please kindly share our content, like, comment, or even give us what you feel about our podcast. We're here to serve you right. This day, this morning, this time, I am here with Chloe Chiaga Frolens, a young lady. At the age of 22, she's a midwife. She's done a lot of amazing things in her life at the age of 22. When I heard about her story, I said, wow, I should be able to be part of her and know about her story. And here you're going to know how she made it at the age of 22 and the kind of impact she has made in her community. You're most welcome, Florence.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. Yeah. And Florence, it's very amazing. I was very moved and inspired by your story of how, most especially, not by the age, but the impact you've created in the community.
Yeah.
And my audience will be able to understand that people can make it at the age of 22.
Yes.
And people can actually handle their passions no matter the age they are at. But for you, made it as much as early as some of us were getting our passion at the later age. So we're going to see her and we're going to hear from her. Guys, thank you so much. Please share our content. It will be also doing the best to impact your community by sharing this kind of important information. So, Chloe,
yes,
tell us who you are, your background, your school life, how you made it.
Okay. My story is quite a story.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I would tell it one day. Yeah. So my name is Chiaga Florence. Chloe. I prefer that Chloe because it is cool.
Yeah.
I am a firstborn daughter out of 3 siblings. I have a brother and a little sister. I was raised by a very strong woman.
Yeah.
My mom, I was raised by a very strong woman. So how I grew up, if I remember right, from the age of 6 until now, I have a clear memory. I've been a very, very stubborn child. I've been so outspoken. Yeah. I have been a discoverer in a way. I can't say that I've been a wise student in class, but I've been very smart in my life. Yeah. I always look out for that unique thing in school to fix. So I went to quite a number of schools because my mom is a teacher. Yeah. So everywhere they posted her,
you would shift schools.
I would go with her. So I think in my primary, I went to like 6 schools.
In primary
only, yeah. Not even every year. There's a time I went to 2 schools at time.
Yeah.
Because my mom would keep changing school because of environment and all that. So in my primary, I went to a school called, I think, Lady Charlotte, baby class. Then another one called Our Lady, then Merit Academy, Kazo Parents, Uganda Matters. The list continues. So maybe that one I can't be very specific.
Yeah.
But I finished my PLE from a school called Mokono Boarding Primary School. Yeah. So when I started understanding, me and my mom were staying in Pelere, Kanyanya. But then we moved back to Mokono because this is where her family was, and she needed support with us because she was a young, I have to say this. My mom gave birth to me when she was 16 years old.
Oh, 16.
Yeah.
She was a teenage mother.
I got her out of school.
She was a teenage mother.
Yes.
So your dad should be put in prison.
Me. It is me who got her out of school.
Yeah.
So she was young, we were young, and she had to figure everything out. So she had to move back to Mokono to be closer to family so that they can support in a way. So that is how my primary went. I was everywhere in school. Everyone knew a name Chloe, as in everything, in running everything, whether I knew or not. Then my high school, I went to a school called Bishop Senior School, Mokono, for 2 years. And then I left and went to a Catholic school called City of Wisdom.
Yeah.
And so growing up, I wanted to be a poet. I wanted to be a poet, a writer, a speaker, But my mom kept saying that I was a caring person, so I
Yeah.
needed to be in the health sector,
Yeah.
which I didn't agree with
Yeah.
at all. I had a lot of friends that would write poems. So I would always write. And after my Form 4, my mom was like, Chloe, things are not looking very okay, and you have to go to nursing school because it is the fairest option around. And I told her, no,
Yeah.
I have to go to high school and be a poet. I have
Yeah.
to go to campus. I have to study these things of writing and stuff. Mommy, they are really cool. I want to be that cool person. And unfortunately, she didn't agree with it. So
Yeah.
that is how I ended up into nursing school.
Yeah.
Not by passion. I am.
Because you
um,
wanted it to have, maybe to make it easier for you to get a profession. Yeah.
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 But when you're younger, you don't get it. So me, I
Yeah.
can't say that I'm the people who put up their hands in from one that they wanted to be doctors.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I wanted to be a poet. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be a singer.
Mhm.
There's even a time I wanted to buy a guitar
Yeah.
because I felt like it was cool. So going into nursing school, I was really young. I was
Yeah.
quite young. That is why I'm 22 now.
Yeah.
I was quite young in school. Um, and it was such a journey.
Yeah.
I saw people die. I saw people bleed. I saw a lot of things that I didn't know at my age. So semester one, I go, we sit in class. Now I thought when you go to nursing school, you go, they give you an injection, you inject people, and that's it.
And that's,
It's not.
yeah.
I go to nursing school, you study a lot of crazy stuff
Yeah.
about the human body, about the human being. So I went in school as a nurse. I applied to be a nurse. I study, and then in my school, people are like, midwives are more cool. You deliver babies, babies come through your hands, you receive life first. I changed my mind
Yeah.
because I think I'm one person who doesn't want to be like the rest. I feel like I have a difference. I have to be different. I can't be the normal. So I changed into being a midwife. And then I kept studying. First day at the hospital, because you study from school, then they
Yeah.
take you to hospital. First day going at the hospital, they gave me a mother to deliver. I saw a head coming out
Now the baby.
of a human body.
Yeah.
And that was it. I think for me, that is what changed my entire perspective about motherhood. The lady was screaming. She was in a lot of pain. The baby comes out. They are pale as if they are dead. I couldn't get it. So after that, we went back home. I told my mom, I can't do this. These things are so scary. For us, we see dead bodies. I really can't do it.
Yeah.
But she kept telling me, Chloe, I feel like this is you. I feel like this is what you have to do. So I held on tight. COVID came in. We were home, but yeah, the course went on and went on and went on. So in that journey of delivering moms, in that journey of receiving babies, in that journey of supporting people that are screaming at a very young age, a person who didn't have children, who didn't even plan to have any at that time, I was like, I feel like there's a gap.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a gap in what we do
Yeah.
as Ugandans when mothers are delivering babies. So because from the beginning of the world to the end, mothers will still deliver babies.
Yeah. True.
It has been made so common and normal that no one pays attention to it. You're going to be a pregnant mother, mopping the house, cleaning, cooking for your husband. He comes back home and expects things from you. But there's a lot that goes on in the
Yeah.
human body. And I had an opportunity to study all that, to see what goes on, the risks, how your body has to support two people.
Yeah.
It's so mind blowing
Yeah.
that now I am alone in my body, but my body is still struggling to do certain things. And now it is a body that is carrying two, or even three, or even four, based
Yeah.
on how many
These
babies
days,
that
yeah.
you're carrying.
Yeah.
So it was so mind blowing. And I think for me, that is when the creator of this earth chose me a purpose.
Yeah.
And that was looking into different things that mothers go through. I started way early in school to complain
Yeah.
to we call them sisters in school, the
Yeah.
ladies, the nurses and midwives
Yeah.
that we find in hospitals that are older than us as we are still training, complaining to them that this is not trained. You shouldn't back to a mother. You shouldn't push her. Like
Yeah.
you just have to support her
Yeah.
because it is a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Let's do it better. So as I went on to understand it, a passion was birthed. And now I'm so much in love.
In love with
I'm so much in love with babies
when
and
you talk about
moms.
shouting at a mother who is going to give birth,
Yes.
we've seen commonly midwives
Yeah.
shouting at these mothers.
Yes.
And then somebody told me that
Yes.
it depends on the level or the class of the mother. The middle class, how they take themselves at that time is different.
Yeah.
How an ordinary woman comes to give birth, she's always in very fast, gets to the hospital, gets the bed, she pushes her baby out. And then comes the middle class woman who comes and wants to be cared for. And then she would take hours without giving birth because she feels she needs to take care of, to be taken care of. So I've seen that it depends. The woman, the ordinary woman, does things faster and
I
easier.
have to defend that. I have to defend that.
The ordinary, but the middle class woman has that kind of, even in giving birth, she wants to be classy. Does really giving birth need somebody to be classy? Or if it is time for a baby to get out of the womb, the baby must come out?
So this is where the difference is. Labor pains are labor pains.
Yes.
That is it. Standard.
Standard,
The same way I suffer from, let's say, malaria.
Yes.
Is the same exact way.
Yes.
Let's say the president of this country will suffer from malaria.
Yes.
Symptoms, everything. But the difference is, one, the knowledge that he has. The moment he feels a headache, he'll be like, I need to check with my doctor.
Yes.
Now, me, I'll take ages, meaning my signs and symptoms will be crazy by the time I get to the hospital. So that is the difference. Middle class, upper class moms are told. That is why they don't even roll and scream, because they know the moment you start feeling something, call your guy and he'll tell you what to do. Then they tell them, breathe like this, touch here, do this. So that is how it becomes a bit easier.
Yeah, for the middle class?
Middle class and upper class.
Yes.
People that have enough information and support from whoever is supporting them. Now, the difference with my mother down there in a village or something, she's digging. Labor pains come. She's like, let me first finish. I'll go home and then go to the hospital. After digging, she goes home, she cooks. After cooking, she showers. By the time she's in hospital, she's like 7 centimeters. And the pains are crazy. So I think that is where the difference is. And also why some midwives back is because it is a life and death situation. There's a lot of panic. Her life is in your hands and she's playing games with you. So sometimes they're out of character because they need something, mostly for new and young moms. You need to save the baby and you also need to save the mom. I'm not saying it is the right way. It is not. I don't agree with anyone backing at someone. But sometimes you need the baby out. Because the longer the baby takes between being inside and being that middle part, they're not breathing. Because when they're inside, they breathe from the
head
mom.
Is already out.
When they're inside, they breathe from the mom. When they're outside, they're supposed to breathe on their own. Now they're in between.
They're in between. They are not yet out.
Exactly.
The head is out, but it's still remaining inside, and then you have to save their life.
There's a lot. So that is why sometimes they back, but please, midwives, don't do it. It's such a painful. I've not given birth before. But I know the pain. I've seen people do crazy stuff when they're having labor pain. So it's so painful. And the only thing that we can do is extending a little bit more grace to these people.
And compassion. And empathy at the end of the day.
Exactly. Because she also doesn't know why things are paining her. It is only natural. Eve did us bad of being cast and we have to give birth that way. So you just have to be more gracious. Also, now the modern mom has more options. There's something called the epidural, where you don't feel pain and that kind of thing. So now the other mom is not privileged to have all those options. With modern moms, you can tell your guy, I don't want pain.
And you can deliver without pain?
Without pain.
Oh, really? Is that an injection?
Zero pain. Yes, it is an injection. Zero pain. And you're okay, you deliver. Or you go for C-section. That you've scheduled. For you like me, I want my child to be given birth to on the 5th of July. And your guy is like, okay, for as long as they are ready,
they'll move the baby.
We shall get them out. Now the other mom down there doesn't have those privileges.
When you talk about where you choose not to have the pain,
yeah,
don't you think it is I mean, if you don't have pain and you're pushing the baby, because naturally you must get through the pain
Yes,
to
yes,
feel it.
yes.
If that option has come for mothers to push without feeling any baby, uh, doesn't it have strong side effects on the mothers?
I would say there is nothing that is only good.
Yes.
So it has its own side effects, and it's something that Africans have borrowed from the Western world.
Yeah.
So we are still trying to deal with it. That is why it is not so common.
Yeah.
It's an option, but not so common because we are trying to balance. Our difference with the Western world is they are there.
Yeah.
You have a gynae, you have a neonatal nurse, you have a midwife, you have everyone.
Yeah.
We have very limited labor.
Yeah.
We are not a lot of medical workers in the country. So while you're trying to do something else, the baby is going to come out and the mother didn't feel the baby.
Yeah.
So it is an option, but we are still trying to study it
Yeah.
and how it can work for our moms so that the babies are safe and then the mothers are also safe.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
When you talk about the middle class woman,
Yes.
you've delivered the middle class woman and you've also delivered
Yes.
our ordinary
Yes.
woman.
Yes.
Where is it simpler for you? Be honest, really. Where have you seen really the real expression of a woman giving birth? Is it to the middle class? Or it is to the ordinary woman? Because some of us, myself, I was born on the roadside many years in the 70s. I was born on the roadside. You can't believe. I was born on the roadside because my mom dropped me on the roadside as we were running, because of the war, and I dropped out. I found it easier for the ordinary woman to push a baby out.
Yes.
And even when she has no much care, when the baby comes out, it is time for the baby to come out.
Yes.
I'll give you another example. I have a friend of mine who had twins. So they have the restaurant.
Yeah.
And the wife had come to their restaurant to work.
Yeah.
So she gets into labor. She didn't know. And by the time she's gathering things here and there, one baby pops out.
Wow.
Yes, this baby pops out, one of the twins. So, of course, they handle her very well and then they carry her to the hospital. And the second child is born in the hospital. Okay. She was celebrating that she didn't have a bill for the other baby. So the bill was for only one child. My friend is there, and the twins are now big children. So the ordinary mother and our middle class mother.
Yes.
Where do you think is the easiest way? Is it the ordinary mother or the middle class mother? Okay. Of course, everybody has got their own challenges, but be honest, really.
Yeah.
Where do you base yourself on that?
Before I answer the question, there's something I want to bring to light to our audience. Yeah. We no longer have that typical sacred African mom that we had because of the modern shift.
Yes.
We are in a modern world. It has happened. We can't go back. Yeah. So even moms in the village no longer have the support, the hubs, the mothers-in-law they had to have the ease to give birth. I was talking to my grandmother some time back, and she was telling me she has 15 children. So I was asking her, but Jaja, hey, don't even think I'll push 3. Yeah. How did you give birth to all those children? And she told me, there was this kahab for this, there was that kahab for that. Yeah. All those things are not there anymore. Yeah. We no longer have that support, which makes it so hard for both moms. Yes. I'll still go to the question, but it makes it so hard for both moms to have the ease of baby coming out, and that's it. Yeah. We eat badly. Yeah. We don't exercise. We no longer know where the hubs are. So our bodies are no longer in position to do what our grandparents did. Yeah. Yeah. That alone is already one down. Yeah. Yeah. It's already
and the African moms were more active by then.
Exactly, yes.
Their bodies were very active.
Very active. Yeah. Now you even find someone in the village, deep down in the village, seated at home. Their husband went to work and she's there seated. Yeah. So there've been a lot of shift that now every mother, wherever they are struggling with childbirth. So back to the question. Who do I prefer? I love moms in general. Yeah. I love moms so dearly. They take a special place in my heart. But I think a modern mother makes it quite easy because they carry a certain amount of knowledge.
Knowledge, yes.
Yeah. And that is why I'm here. Yeah. They carry a certain amount of knowledge to know that if I bleed, I need to go and see my doctor, or I need to go and see a midwife.
Yeah.
That is a life saved.
Yeah.
My mother in the village is going to bleed for 1, 2, 3,
Three.
4, 5 days,
Yeah.
and they'll come with a dead child.
Yeah.
So that is the difference between the two. The modern mom makes it easy by the knowledge that they carry.
Yeah.
It's they recognize everything easily because they are more health aware than, I don't want to call them ordinary moms,
Yeah.
than the other mother
Yeah.
who is not yet in the shift.
Yeah.
We find that now as a country we are suffering with a lot of preterm babies, preterm delivery. It's a lot. It's crazy. If you look at the numbers, your heart will bleed.
Yeah.
And it is happening more in rural places because they don't know. It is also happening in Kampala. It is
Yeah.
happening in the modern places, but not as much because a modern mom knows that I am not supposed to eat this because when I do, my child is going to come out earlier.
Yeah.
My mother, deep down in the village, doesn't know.
Yeah.
They'll eat everything. They'll have sex in all positions, which they're not even supposed to do.
You mean there's certain position that you should not have while you're pregnant?
Yes, there's a certain period of pregnancy where you're not supposed to have a lot of sex, where you're not supposed to have some positions. There's a balance in everything that you're
What are those
supposed to
positions
do.
that you're not supposed to be having?
I saw that
And
coming.
what is too much?
I saw that coming.
And what is too much
my
sex in this
God.
line when you're pregnant? Because
So,
I mean, the mother out there would like to
needs
know.
to know.
So we need to know,
Okay.
and we need to tell them that too much sex in this way, you can measure it. I
Yes.
don't know how you measure it. And then
Okay.
other medicals say that when you're pregnant, more sex is needed.
At the end.
Not at the
At
beginning.
the end.
Yes.
Now, at the beginning,
Yes.
you've had sex.
Yeah.
So the male fluid
Yeah.
that comes out has a component that ripens the cervix.
Okay.
And when the cervix is ripe,
Yeah.
it opens.
Yeah.
You get.
Yeah.
So we are bound to lose a child who is not yet mature enough to come out.
Hey, wow.
So that is why in the early days, you can have sex, but not every single morning, afternoon, and evening.
Yeah.
And we advise them that only have what is enough.
What if your sexual appetite is high when you get pregnant?
There's
There are women
something
who are there.
amazing about the body.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know how God did it.
Yeah.
So our human body understands us so well. You see, when women are craving,
Yeah.
they don't crave because they're excited. They are
Yeah.
craving what their body is needing at that particular time.
Yeah.
When she needs iron, she's
Yeah.
going to crave clay because
Yeah.
it has iron.
Yeah.
So they are not eating soil.
Yeah.
They are looking for something.
Yeah.
So even when you are pregnant, most women will realize
Yeah.
that in the very, very early days, month 1, month 2, month
Yeah.
3, you really don't want.
Yeah.
You're weak, what?
But there are
The
those who are
body-
exceptional. Let's talk about those who are exceptional and it
The
happens
exceptional
because
ones.
you know, the body and the science changes.
Yes, yeah.
For those who have experienced it contrarily
We sit
to what
down
science
with
says.
them,
Yeah.
both of them,
Yeah.
the husband and the wife, and we tell them, we understand what you're going through, but it's only the first 3 months.
Yeah.
Only. Then after, you can start having sex. Then in the last month, in the last trimester, in fact, the last 3 months, sex is really amazing.
Yeah.
Because it is helping us to ripen the cervix.
Yeah.
But again, there are certain positions you can't have. Because one, she's so heavy. The baby tends to go down when towards the last days.
Yeah.
Now the pregnancy drops a bit.
Yeah.
And when that happens, there is a lot of pressure on the lower organs, the bladder being inclusive.
Yeah.
So when sex is so vigorous, we can damage those organs. Because you know, the female organ or the vagina is so connected to quite a number of things.
Yeah.
There is a thin wall that creates boundary. That is why women can get fistula.
Yeah. Okay.
Because women can get fistula because there is really a thin wall that shields other things. So when you come with a lot of vigorous sex, you're bound to damage something somewhere.
Yeah.
So the sex is okay, but it comes in deep. We also advise positions because now you can't do missionary. You're on top of her. She's heavy.
She's heavy. So
you're going to damage the baby. So we try to look for different positions that are favoring both you
and what are those positions? We want to know.
I
Because some woman out there is watching and
Mhm.
she's pregnant,
We can't
and maybe
be.
she can't get a chance to contact
Oh my
you
God.
wherever you work, and now she wants to get information right from our podcast. Tell us that when a woman is pregnant, you said that there are styles that are permitted
Yes.
and others are not.
Yes.
And then some information says
Yes.
that when you're pregnant,
Mhm.
you need more sex.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Okay. There's a balance, and I'm glad we are talking about this. Our audience, please listen in, share it to someone that needs this information because
Yeah.
it is not everywhere.
Yeah.
So we have trimesters of pregnancy, and it is every 3 months. In the first trimester,
Yeah.
when the baby is developing, the egg is just in and trying to attach and all those things, you don't need a lot of sex,
Yeah.
the way they say it.
Yeah.
Because in the male fluid that
Yeah.
they release,
Yeah.
there is something that ripens the cervix.
Yeah.
So it will end up opening before time.
Yeah.
And now in the other trimesters, you start regulating. Because in the second trimester, women feel a bit better.
Yeah.
And you're now getting hold of this pregnancy thing. And yeah, you can have a bit of sex here and there.
Yeah.
So there it is okay to have enough sex.
Yeah.
And enough sex can be twice a week.
Yeah.
Not morning, afternoon, and evening.
Okay.
Because also, throughout pregnancy, we are trying to protect these a blood vessel that we are not supposed to compress a lot. And every time a woman is lying on her back flat for a very, very long time,
Yeah.
we are damaging her.
Yeah.
So we don't want her to be, and I think you've even seen it, that in hospital, or heard of it,
Yeah.
that in hospital we don't recommend mothers to come and lie flat for a very long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the second trimester, you can have a bit of sex in quite a number of positions.
Yeah.
Because it is not as delicate as the first and last.
Yeah.
So you can have sex in all the positions that we know,
Yeah.
for as long as it is not vigorous, you're not choking each other, you're not beating each other, you're not on ropes.
Yes.
And then in the last trimester,
Yeah.
we need sex.
More sex.
Enough sex still.
Enough sex.
Now, this is where they even recommend people to have sex because of that component that I told you of that helps with.
So if in
the
this
cervix.
trimester, if you're having it 3 times a week,
Yes,
the last trimester you can have it about 3 times
you
a day.
have it on need.
On it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because now the mother is also dealing with a lot.
Yeah.
The pregnancy is heavy.
Yeah.
Not the need of the husband.
Yes.
No, the need of the lady.
Of the lady.
When she feels like she needs it, give it to her.
Yeah.
And now here we are so keen on the positions.
Yeah.
And I'll just describe them and how they look physically so that we can all understand them.
Yeah.
There's a position where the lady is lying down and then the man is on top. We can't have that because she's heavily pregnant and
Yeah.
you'll be on the baby. And
Yeah.
if you've been doing it, please stop.
Well, how do you term it in the common word so that somebody can understand it?
It's termed as missionary.
Missionary, yes.
Missionary.
Yeah.
Then there's all these things of choking each other, beating each other up, all those very fancy sexual things.
The
are
romantic
very nice.
beating or the rough one?
Both. Because people are doing both out
yes.
there.
Yeah.
So choose to have gracious sex.
Yes.
You're not strongly. She needs a lot of oxygen for
Yeah.
2 people. I know
Yeah.
you're in her neck.
Yeah. You can't.
You're not being supportive to the pregnancy and your
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
So we recommend that you only do gracious sex, or you only enjoy a moment together, you don't
Yeah.
strangle each other and all those things. Positions of raising each other's legs up high in the sky
Yeah.
are not recommended
Yeah,
because we are dealing with a pelvis that we want to support a child and push out. If
Yeah.
you start
Yeah.
swinging her right, left, and center,
Yeah.
anything can happen because these bones are delicate at that particular time. So there is a position that we recommend in most cases, and
Yeah.
it is when the lady is bending a bit with support,
Yeah.
and then the man can figure out where
Yeah.
he can
Pass.
pass.
Okay.
That is most recommended.
Yeah. So, but they say,
I tried.
but they're saying,
Like that.
but they say that the more sex you have,
Yes,
the more you prepare the woman to give birth very well, because the pelvic bones
yes.
must really open to prepare this woman to give birth.
Okay, I think that's like a myth or misconception.
Yeah.
because bonds are bonds. You
Yeah.
can't prepare bonds. They don't move.
Yeah.
They're still bonds.
Yeah.
So maybe what you're preparing is, I'll give an example of a very young mother
Yeah.
who is going to give birth for the first time.
Yeah.
They're really intact.
Yeah.
They're very intact. And
Yeah.
now our head has to pass
Yeah.
through their opening.
Yeah.
That is how you're supporting. But bonds,
Mhm.
you
So
can't.
how do we term kumenya? That's a Luganda word.
It is.
So in what context or in what way do they always mean that when you have sex, menya,
Okay.
to prepare the woman to give birth?
So in my experience, I've had kumenya in 2 ways.
Yeah.
And the first way is having sex, which
Yeah.
I recommend highly
Okay.
in the last trimester.
Yeah.
The other way is using herbs, using oil, using those things, there's something called mulondo,
Yeah.
that I've seen people use.
Yeah.
And I do not recommend it at all. At the sound of my voice, please don't do it.
Which,
Because
Molondo?
this is what happens. All those
Yes.
natural kumenya things.
Yeah.
Now, the natural way of giving birth is a process.
Yeah.
Where you get contractions, the cervix opens, the bones moving away.
Yeah.
It's an entire process that starts way back.
Yeah.
And now what these kumenya things do is they quicken the process.
Yeah.
And now the contractions are going to be extremely heavy
Yeah.
before the cervix is open.
And they cause more damage.
Your uterus is going to rupture. Your child is going to die.
Yeah.
Because what contractions do is they also affect the baby. They affect the baby in a way. And now if they are very intense, and the cervix is closed, even if you call Jesus,
Yeah.
you can't push that baby out.
Yeah.
So that is why we try to teach the community
Yeah.
to avoid things that disrupt the natural way of giving birth. Yeah. And yeah, that is what I have to say about community.
If you talk about the cervix closing,
Yes.
I know there are women who have got to the level of giving birth,
Yes.
and the cervix has failed to open. What's the
Yes.
solution to that?
Oh my God, I have a very funny story to this.
Yeah.
So way back when I was still in very active practice,
Yeah.
they would tell us that when a woman is in labor and the cervix is not opening, call
Yeah.
for their husband,
Go for the husband.
and then they help in a way or the other.
Yeah.
And we would think it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It was something really funny.
Yeah.
Until when this time I was on duty with someone, I won't
Yeah.
mention where I was working,
Yeah.
and then saw it happen, and she's like, no, this is something simple. She doesn't need medication. Everything is okay.
Yeah.
Let's just let the husband
Come in.
intervene. And they were given a room,
Yeah.
and she delivered.
So how long did they take in the room to hope
I can't
cervix open?
disclose. I'm not willing to disclose that kind of information.
Yeah, but
But it works.
Yes,
It works. That is how helpful sex
Why would
is.
want us to disclose?
Yes.
Okay, the uterus has opened.
Yes.
I mean, has refused to open.
Yes.
And the wife is meant to meet the husband. At how long will it take for the uterus to open? Their engagement sexually, what did it take? 30 minutes? Did it take 15 minutes? Did it take 3 minutes? How long would it require? A day or maybe a week for her to prepare the cervix to open? Or it's just an engagement of a woman coming together with the husband for the cervix to also be ignited open?
Okay, so this is how it works.
Yeah.
Biologically.
Yeah.
The cervix moves in different steps while opening. It doesn't open fully. So it is 2 centimeters, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, until 10.
Yeah.
So she was stuck on 5, which wasn't a problem because she was progressing with every single thing.
Yeah.
The fetal heart rate was okay, the mom was okay, and all those things. And then the person I was working with suggested that we only need that. There's something called prostaglandins in this fluid that men release, and that is what we needed to ripen. It actually does ripen it. So that is what we did. They took I think at most it was around 15 minutes in the room, and then she came, and then we put it to a test, and she was progressing so well. So that is how magical we are created to support each other.
Yeah, the natural way.
Yes, because I've had a lot of saying that men are just sperm donors.
Yeah.
And then after donating sperms, it's okay for you to disappear. and then the wife will give birth
Yeah.
in any way. It's
Yeah.
not true.
It's not true.
Our bodies are created to complement each other.
Yeah.
That is why we now have different rising sections
Yeah.
around 200,
Yeah.
but they can't have children.
Yeah.
It is only a man,
Yes.
and we complement each other. You realize that in the early days when a woman is in her first trimester and she's weak, a man is stronger
Yeah.
because more testosterone is released
Yeah.
for him to be able to shield the woman, to
Yeah.
provide, to
Yeah.
protect, to support, and to serve.
Yeah.
So whoever is out there, I pray that while you're pregnant, you have a partner
Yeah.
that is so supportive, because you can't do it alone if it so happens,
Yeah.
but it's better, it is smoother when you have a partner, because now things like sexual intercourse,
Yeah.
you need a partner. Women that do not have sexual intercourse during pregnancy
Yeah.
give birth,
Yeah.
but it is not as women,
Easier as the
yeah,
other
that
party.
have
Yeah. For this
husbands.
case, for this lady, whom you call the husband,
Yes.
to find about her history,
Mm,
did you try to find out whether she had engaged with the husband in a
mm,
past month?
mhm,
How long had she taken having sex with the husband
mm,
for this matter to be just handled in that moment?
mm,
Had she taken long to meet
mm,
the husband?
mm.
Was it the case?
So fortunately, she was our mom. We
Yeah.
were handling
Yeah.
her journey,
Yeah.
and we had advised her that in the last trimester, they should have
Yeah.
sex more often, and they were doing it.
Yeah.
So I think that is why it was so
At
magical
least.
for it
Yeah.
to happen, because it was a journey that had been started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Very.
I hope, guys, you're finding, if you really find our information very interesting for you and, great information, please share our content for the mother out there to get information. Once again, would like to appreciate Naria Motel, a place where we do our podcast, a place that hosts us, and we are proud to be associated with Naria Motel. For ladies out there that you do want to know the amazing work Naria Motel does. If you're a plant lover, please come to this place. If you want accommodation, please come to this place. If you want good organic meals, come to Naria Motel. Yes, back to you.
Yes.
It's an amazing work you're doing. And at this age of 22,
Yes.
I feel you have a lot of information.
Yeah.
And the time you were trained at the young age, didn't you feel like running out of the
I actually did.
of the maternity ward? Didn't you feel like running away
I
and
ran
say,
away.
"Yeah,
I
that I
ran.
can't manage this"? How did you
Yeah.
contain yourself, and how did you manage to walk through the journey and make sure you're creating impact or creating value in the lives of women?
The first time I delivered a baby, I passed out.
Yeah.
I saw a baby coming out. I was with a darling friend of mine, and they told us a mother is there. She raised her legs.
Mhm.
We saw something coming out, and I passed out. And I was like, I can never
Yeah.
in my life do this again. But I think because it was in a way connected to myself,
Yeah.
I kept going back to learn over and over again, because I tried other things. I really love children. I love children. I tried working with children.
Yeah.
But something kept pulling me back to moms,
Yeah.
that children come from mothers. Why
Yes.
don't you start with mothers? And so I gained an interest in their health,
Yeah.
their well-being, what they think, how they feel it. And also, there's something that in this generation is said a lot, which is past trauma. And I think for me, it served in so well in this particular period. So when I was growing up, my mom gave birth to my brother 4 years later. I was there. I could see. She gave birth. She went back to work. Raised up, I think after like a month. And I saw her. I wouldn't get it so well, but I saw. Then she also gave birth to my little sister.
Yeah.
When now I think I was like 16. Yeah. And she was a C-section mom.
Yeah.
She had a C-section for no reason.
Yeah.
She went back to work after 2 weeks. My little sister got complications. So all those things started playing again.
Yeah.
Then I remembered some auntie of mine who lost a child because she couldn't bridge the gap between home and hospital.
Mhm.
She got a complication from home. The hospital was so far away. So all those things started reflecting back to, what if this was better? No, if your mom this happened to her, why? And so all those things kept pushing me to try and understand the maternal sector better every single day. And also, I'm a person who loves good things.
Yeah.
I love good things. I love peace. I love happiness. So I was like, Chloe, if you're going to give birth in this, how is it going to be for you?
Yeah.
You're going to give birth in an area where they can slap you. How is it going to be for you?
Yeah.
And I also interacted with quite a number of mothers that would tell me, Sidamo kuzala.
Yeah.
I'll never give birth again.
Yeah.
I saw mothers
When
that,
they go through that pain.
exactly.
But after a year, you see them pregnant
Some
again.
actually don't. Some don't. Like it's that
Yeah.
mostly for, and I think you've seen in this era,
Yeah.
people have either one or two
Two.
children.
Yeah. Or none.
Or none.
None.
Yeah. I think 20% of my friends don't want to have children.
Yeah.
Because there is that constant fear of labor is hell.
Yeah.
Motherhood is terrible.
Yeah.
And for me, I made it personal, a
Yeah.
personal purpose to, because when I look at my mom and us,
Yeah.
she's happy. She's
Yeah.
like, I actually have children, they're
Yeah.
growing. That is how it should be for everyone.
Yeah.
But I don't know when it started that everyone started preaching motherhood as hell.
Yeah.
There's even a word that they use, a Luganda word that is, I think, okuzala kufa,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. It's
which I don't
between life
agree
and
with.
death. Yes. Giving birth is between life and death.
It shouldn't be that way
Yeah.
if there are people that are trained to make it easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is how my passion was birthed.
Yeah.
And it's, every time I think of it, it's such a very big thing.
Yeah.
But I pray I get the ability to break it down
Yeah.
into different parts that I can figure out slowly
Especially
with
to the Lord
help.
Mother.
Yes, especially to that mother down there who doesn't know what to do, what to eat, when to eat it, when to have sex.
Yes.
I can tell you, I've had quite a number of mothers that get fistula because
Yeah.
they had sex
After 1 week of pregnancy?
after giving birth.
Oh, after 1 week of pregnancy. And whom should we blame for fistula here? In this case, is it the mother or the man who forces the woman?
It is the mother,
Yeah.
the husband, and the health worker.
Okay.
I won't say the government.
Yeah.
I don't know what the government is.
No, the government
So,
is us.
us.
People, yeah.
Because I, Chloe, the midwife, I have not told her what to do.
What to do?
She'll go home and she feels like she is obligated to give her man sex.
Yeah.
Why I blame her is because she does not listen to her body.
Yeah.
That I don't feel like it. She'll give it. Why I blame the man is
Yeah.
because someone has been pregnant
Yeah.
for 9 months. They are even bleeding
Yeah.
and having a certain smell because of a lot of things that are happening with the body.
Yeah.
And why you choose to swallow all that?
Yeah.
And they're like,
And they go,
put.
yes.
So we are all responsible.
Yeah.
And me, I feel like the biggest reason as to why we are suffering as a country, as a nation, as a continent is because of knowledge.
Yeah.
Ugandans do not have access to a lot of knowledge
Yeah.
about
It's not available.
childbirth
Yeah.
and the postpartum care.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about the postpartum care
Yeah.
side because it is very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is something I understood also after
Yeah.
people giving birth.
Yeah.
There is even something called a fourth trimester.
Yeah.
It's not from first, second, and third that you
Yeah.
stop. So yeah,
Yeah, when you talk about they don't have information, if we don't have the information of going through parenthood, we are not prepared.
yeah,
Even the ladies find themselves, oh, I got pregnant. She didn't know. So
yeah,
everything it has a fast speed, only created by the act
yeah.
that you made, just maybe having fun or not even ready to get into motherhood.
Mm.
Now, to the men out there, if you would advise men on line of men whose wives have given birth, how long should a man be patient or wait for this woman to engage with her again?
The recommended time is 6 weeks, which is the postpartum
Those are 2
period.
months.
Around 2 months, yeah.
Yeah.
A month and 2 weeks or something. Please wait for that time. But if that time ends and your wife is still not in position to offer sex,
Yeah.
kindly be gracious.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things go on in the female body that maybe when you try, she feels a lot of giving.
Yeah.
And it is because something happened
Yeah.
during
Trauma, maybe
giving
trauma.
birth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even injury.
Yeah.
The baby's head came and she got bruised and the
Yeah.
wound is healing and
Yeah.
it's inside. We can say, please be a bit more gracious to these
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Because even the child that they carried is for the two of you.
Yeah. True.
So I've had a lot of men complain. They've even come to me personally. You people tell us wait for 6 weeks. That's a lot of time. Now, me, what do I do? And
Yeah.
a lot of men have resorted to getting side chicks,
Yeah.
which is also terrible because now you are sleeping with someone that is carrying quite a number of things, bodies.
Yeah.
And by the time you're sleeping with her as a side chick, this is a very unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
She's also sleeping with someone else as a side chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're bringing back home to
Yeah.
someone who is trying to heal,
Yeah.
and you're going to end up in a very terrible place.
Yeah. True.
So it's I think if men should prepare for one thing during pregnancy, it should be the patience
Yeah.
of not having sex.
Yeah.
It should be the patience. If you need to talk to friends, if you need to pray, if you need to go for therapy, go for it.
Yeah.
Because it is not as, and I understand the male body is different from the female body.
True.
When a man wants sex, he wants it. And when he gets it, that's it.
The woman's sex, levels go up.
Because of the hormones.
The hormones change and she
yeah.
needs more sex.
Yes.
So in this case, what do you do? If a man denies her sex, it's also another problem. She wants it, okay, but you feel it's not safe for her.
Yeah.
But she wants it. We've seen even women who just she wants to keep with your jacket or your sweat or your t-shirt with you, and because of the hormones, and she wants the sex. So how do we do it? How do we mitigate it? Because men find it very difficult in that situation. How do we behave as men in such a situation?
Okay. With my experience, I've come to understand that men are not as emotional as women.
Yeah.
Men are more logical. That is why they are quick with everything, and we take quite some time.
Yeah.
A man is going to vibe you today. He expects an answer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Me, I'll be like, no, will he what? And I'll take some time. So in that time, that is what is bound to happen.
Yeah.
She is keeping your shirt closed because she needs an emotional attachment. There's a lot of things going on in her body that she just needs you to be there.
Yeah.
And I would suggest we try being there. I know we work, I know the world is crazy, but let's try being there. Then for the sex part, we just have to be informed. It's very hard for a man to deny sex.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
Men are usually
we are generous.
very extremely generous human beings. So it's just meant to learn, equip themselves with knowledge of she's now 17 weeks. What are we supposed to do? What are we not supposed to do? Men, please come for antenatal classes. Please. I beg of you. Because you feel like they are female things, you miss out on a lot of things, and then you make a lot of mistakes. Recently, I interacted with a husband who was so stressed because the wife could not be able to produce breast milk. And he also can't, very logically. But in antenatal classes, we teach them what to do. You can get donated breast milk for the child. It was a preterm, they needed milk. Because he didn't come. Now he was stressed, he incurred money, he didn't go to work. So I pray that our country gets to the level where men are also involved because we leave them behind. And some men want to be involved, but because it is only one man who comes in 200 women, he will fear. And he won't come. Exactly. And he'll feel like a weak man. And so feminine. So I pray that we all create a space where men are also involved in childbirth.
And I think they should be involved much earlier than before they become the fathers. Let's look at this also scenario where we've said that it's the woman that is in need, okay? But it's where this woman gets pregnant. The day she gets pregnant, she hates the man. I would call it hating, but she loses complete appetite for the man for the next, actually not even 9 months, but over 15 months.
Yeah.
that she lost appetite, and then she got pregnant of him,
Mm.
and she abandons the man. Not abandoning as she wants,
Yes.
but these scenarios, I think they've happened.
Yes, yes.
How do you, what do you think of a man? What do you tell a man out there who is going through the same challenge
Yes.
because of the pregnancy of the wife? Yes.
To start with, I think we should be more open-minded
Yeah.
as African people, as Ugandans. So when such things happen in, let's say, a rural setting, someone is going to be like, Sajayam Lesel or something, but it's a trigger. You're triggering her in a certain way, you're triggering her emotions in a certain way, and you need to find out because she's in the vulnerable position. She can't figure it out.
Yeah.
You, as the husband, because for most people, they're going to tell you, I don't like my man because he smells like this.
Yeah.
Can you clear that?
Yeah.
I don't like him because he looks like this.
Yeah.
Can you clear that? Only for that time.
Yeah.
So in most cases, it is just a small trigger or something that you're doing that she's very uncomfortable with. There are a lot of people that get pregnant and they stop eating cooking oil.
Yeah.
It is the same thing because it is smelling a certain way, it is looking funny. That is how also men should be. And because men are not so emotional, they end up not being so mindful of the small things. So now you come back, you throw your socks there, your belt there, your what there, and she's so triggered. She's like, I'm pregnant, I even have to clean these things up. And she starts hating you, like resenting you to be at afar. So in most cases, we advise couple counseling. And I should talk about this because it is so interesting.
Yeah.
There's something called a prenatal counseling.
Yeah.
And I request that everyone in our audience goes for this. Before you even get pregnant, you go and sit down with a counselor.
Before you get pregnant.
Before you're just
as a couple,
planning as a couple.
Yeah.
And you talk about all the different parts of your life, starting with spirituality.
Yeah.
The husband is Muslim, you're Christian.
Yeah.
What name is the child going to have?
Yeah.
Because if you have those fights after her giving birth, it is
even
deeper.
pregnant.
Yeah, it is deeper. There's depression,
causes
there's
pain.
frustration, there's divorce.
Yeah.
So it's better to have all those conversations. Spiritual finances. Do you guys have the money to have a child?
Yeah.
Because unlike other people that say all children come with blessings.
Yes.
I'm still looking for where the blessing is.
and it's common. That,
it's a common thing for Africans.
Yeah.
But I am still, personally, I am still looking for where the blessing is.
Yeah.
Because some people have lost children, not because of illness, but because of poverty.
Poverty, yes.
You do not have the money to sustain your child. Do you have the financial ability
to take care of that child?
The child and the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be 8 months in, they're like C-section, 4 million.
Yeah.
You didn't
that's
plan,
traumatizing.
you didn't prepare, you start selling your car, your land. After, you're like, that woman, I even sold my...
Yeah, she's
you get
bad
issues.
luck
Yes.
and everything and not
It's
knowing.
my her 40s, doesn't have a car.
We'll have to have that topic specifically talking about finances as a midwife.
Yes.
And we'll have to have that special topic and prepare for it.
Yeah.
To talk about the importance of finances before we go for this.
Yes.
Now, when I take you back to the issue of this scenario where a woman gets pregnant, the hormones change as we've discussed as well. Yes. But it is this day that she gets pregnant and she realizes that actually I married an ugly man.
Oh my God.
And then the hormones come in and she realizes that your most ugly man, even on our smell, I'm telling you, and she's realized that, look at this man, I'm carrying this baby and this is how my baby is going to look. You know, she's going to resemble this man who's ugly.
Yes.
You know, and she brings it out. And then in this case, she starts fighting you because she thinks you're ugly. And then she doesn't want to do anything with you for the next 18 months, if not even 24, even after giving birth. She has that trauma. How can this man go through this process of where a woman has identified him as an ugly man because of the pregnancy?
The way I hold a very special place in my heart for moms is the same way I'm lately getting a small seat for men.
For men.
And it is because I've had to have a chance to interact with them. Men go through a lot.
Yeah,
and agree. It is because of how we are raised.
Yeah.
There is a shift of a modern man and a modern woman.
Okay.
The ancient man and the ancient woman.
Yeah.
And we are still trying to balance the two.
Yeah.
Now, the ancient man or the traditional man, as people say it, is a man who is a provider.
Mhm.
The modern man has to be emotionally available, financially available,
Mhm.
spiritually available.
Available.
You have to be available in all possible ways. Saying, if me as a man, I can buy myself a car, I can take myself on a trip,
Yeah.
I can do everything on my own, financially, spiritually. I can go. It's crazy that I can even go to the lab and get an egg and
Yes.
get a child.
Yeah.
What are men bringing to the table?
Yeah.
So we are in a crisis where there's been a lot of female promotion,
Yeah.
that men are being forgotten.
Yeah.
And they are struggling with a lot of things, childbirth being inclusive.
Yeah.
Because women are now carrying a lot of expectations of, I expect him to do this, to do that, to
And
be handsome,
entitlement comes in.
to be handsome, to be rich, to be. They can't. So I take it back to selection before you get married.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that this I learned early.
Yeah.
In the African setting, we get married because maybe he has money, maybe you're comfortable with him, maybe something.
Yeah.
We forget to look into the different details.
Yeah.
Do you know why it comes out so much during pregnancy? Because she lost her consciousness of
Yeah.
being so keen on taking away from you.
Yeah.
And now she's on a free zone and she can tell you, you're ugly and you're ugly.
Yeah.
And it's okay. But before, she was like, I need money from him, he's handsome.
Yeah.
So I take it back to the start. I sympathize with men a lot. And
Yeah.
if that is happening to you, go for therapy, go for counseling.
Yeah.
Sit down with a counselor, understand your wife. Women, pregnancy is not madness.
Yeah.
And I don't want us to have that excuse
Yeah.
that because someone is pregnant, tagambo ako.
Yeah.
You're not mad.
Yeah.
You still function as a normal human being.
Yeah.
So we also have to be very understanding as pregnant women. There are things that are funny that we do and we're not supposed
And
to
it
do them.
inconveniences your partner.
Exactly. So
Yeah, just because you want to take advantage that I am pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't do that. But I take it back from the start. As we are selecting partners, we have to put a lot of things into play.
Yeah.
A lot of things, from where do they come from? If this, I've had a billion stories from teenage moms whose husbands have disappeared, not
Yeah.
even husbands, boyfriends.
Yeah.
Recently, I was in Bali and a 16-year-old gave birth for a 19-year-old.
Yeah. They are all children actually.
And it was so crazy. And they had twins.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have diapers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we should also put into play, where does he come from? And
Yeah.
society has made it as being materialistic.
Yeah.
It's actually being cautious.
Yeah.
If your man, you don't know his family and he disappears, where do you start from?
Yeah.
So I take it back from that as we are selecting people, let's know that after this, there are children to come. Do you want your children to look like this ugly man or not?
Yeah.
If you don't, let him go
Yeah.
to other people that can take him in. Yeah.
So what I learned from you is that let's be cautious.
Yes.
Let's be present in
Yes.
whatever decisions
Very
we take.
intentional
As you
about
choose,
what we
as
do.
you choose a husband, a boyfriend, does his job really take care?
Yes.
The job cannot even take care of you as a
Of
girlfriend,
himself alone.
as alone.
Yes.
And then you're choosing to also say, yes, we are dating,
Let's
and then we have a
children.
child here.
Yes.
Then we start struggling in through. Then the same man hates you because you made him a
Yes.
father when he was not ready. And again, you've surprised him. Yes, sometimes they say men, we should take responsibility as well. But in this case, to me, I think some extent, the girls, the women should be also be cautious and know that if I'm to take this man to be a father, can he afford?
And there's something very interesting I want to say about that. As in a men's session, by chance, a lot of different ages of men, and they were discussing. And then I came to appreciate that men say the truth, nothing but the truth. He's going to tell you when you're dating, he's a sagalaban.
Yes.
And when children come in, you'll start forcing him. But he said it.
Yeah.
They say the truth, but we do not pay attention.
You don't pay attention.
And I'm not trying to say that men that do it and go away with it are good men.
Yeah.
But I am saying that we should be extremely intentional. During dates, don't be excited about his shoes.
Yeah.
Be excited about his words.
Yeah.
He's saying, me, my father dumped me. And my mother dumped me, and I'm struggling. And you're going with him.
Yes.
For what?
No, maybe you want to make him a better father.
It is not you.
It's the
give that responsibility to another person.
Yeah.
Unless you want to carry that.
Yeah.
And also, if you sign up for that particular thing, be cautious that the person you're taking is broken, is poor, okay, not poor, broke. They're still figuring out life. and you have to be in the know. Because now what mostly young girls are wanting is a 25-year-old man with a car, with a mansion, with brains, with emotional support, with every single thing figured out. It can't happen. It can't happen. So either select people that are older, or be patient.
Ladies use this as a trap. You know, that there's a common saying that men are never ready. You as a woman, you have to make them ready and force them to be responsible. And this is where we have seen the situations where women come into a relationship.
Yes.
Njagala mwana. I don't care who is,
but
as
I
long
want
as I get pregnant. How do you speak to the woman out there who is thinking the same, that for me, I will just trap him and force him to be a father? If he's not ready, men are never ready. He will be ready.
Okay, as a midwife, who knows what you're going to go through after forcing someone to get a child. I suggest that your life should not only be tied on children. Women have a lot of things that you can do. A lot of things. Having children and having a man is not a definition of complete success. There is a lot of other things that can keep your life busy as your man is getting ready. In fact, lately, we even sit down with young couples and we tell them, what is your 5-year strategy? And they're like, me, I am going to go to school. I want a master's. They're doing that in the meantime. This technology is rising up. We are in a modern world where you can freeze your eggs.
Really?
Yes.
But that's a cost.
It's a cost, but it's better than giving birth for someone who doesn't want children. And you can agree on it together that, you know what? They call each other babe. Babe, come, let's sit together. We want to have children in the next 10 years. What do we do? Or freeze our eggs, or me, I want to do this. I feel like why women are struggling with forcing men into marriages and children is because they don't have anything else they are focusing on in their lives. I love children. I pray I get a darling husband. I love all those good things, but I have another purpose for my life. And as the husband is figuring out himself, I am concentrating on the other things. So it is because of also society. Our moms were born and created to give birth. It's different. Women are in boardrooms, they're in businesses, they are in school. Now giving birth to a child is, everyone can. We all have a uterus and a vagina opening. So let's concentrate on things that can actually support us as well. Also, it takes away the narrative of our children are not getting the best life. If I gave birth for you today, for instance, oh my God, I don't know why I gave that as an example, but for example, I gave birth for you today, and you had a financial constraint, or you were chased away from your job, I can still survive. Because I have a paying job, I'll be like, even my husband is not in position to let me figure out the gaps. There is a reason as to why most couples are divorcing in Uganda. And do you know that reason? Poverty. We are poor people and we are not willing to work.
And so we want to carry a lot of things on ourselves.
And it's one thing
you want to have 6 children. You want to say, I love children, and you have 8 when you cannot even take care of one.
But why would you have 8 children? Also, I need to talk about something as a midwife. The uterus is not supposed to carry kids until when it dies.
Really?
There's a
My
maximum.
mother gave birth to 13 children.
They were lucky.
She's now 85.
They were
she's
lucky
80 plus.
Healthy. They were lucky and healthy. Lately, we give birth to 8 and the uterus is out. You get a uteral prolapse. It comes out with the child. So also the uterus.
Does it show that
it is tired?
This is the last child. I'm also out.
It comes out. So also we have to put that into consideration, that we are not here for a game, but also in consideration of our body. Also, there is a lot of I don't know if you've heard of something called Down syndrome, where you give birth to a child that is not as able as the other children. It is a factor of giving birth to either children late, or one partner is old, or the nutrients in your body are done because you gave birth to a lot. So now, so to avoid all those things, you need information.
Doesn't that put pressure on women to give birth even when they're not ready, because they think the clock is ticking?
Recently, there was a tweet of a very amazing medical person. I won't mention the name. And he said that women are getting fibroids because they are looking for money.
Yeah.
I am in agreement of both.
Yeah.
Minus men being providers, they can die.
Yeah.
How are your children going to survive if you
Yeah.
are poor
Yeah.
as a woman?
Yeah.
So there has to be a balance of two, and you have to plan early that today, Chloe, you are 22 years old and you want to have children at 27, which is okay,
Yeah.
or 28.
Even 30.
What is even that, even 35?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have a very amazing friend of mine
Yeah.
who gave birth at 45.
Yeah.
So, what is your plan
Yeah.
as Chloe?
Yeah.
If I got my boyfriend, let's say today, I
Yeah.
sit him down and I'm like, Sebo, we should have kids when I'm 27. That is a few years away from
Yeah.
now.
We
What
work, we
is our
plan.
strategy?
Yeah, we
What
work,
are
we
we planning?
plan, and
So, yes, I don't believe in biological pressure.
Yeah.
It is pressure that we are bringing to ourselves.
Yeah.
And we end up having children that we are now traumatizing as mistakes. I think you've
Yeah.
had that thing of
Too
all
much. Yeah.
firstborns are.
Yeah.
I'm a
A
firstborn,
mistake.
by the way.
Yeah. Like born out of a
I'm a
mistake. Yeah.
firstborn.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they say most firstborns are mistakes. And I can testify to that as a mistake. My mother was 16.
Yeah.
She dropped out of school. And I feel like if she had better information then,
Yeah,
she would
sure,
know what
yeah,
to do better.
yeah.
So all the young girls out there and all the young men out there on this show, if you're one and you know a lot of friends, share this information because it is power.
Yeah.
It saves us from a lot of things. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much. It's amazing. Once again, we appreciate you for watching our podcast. We are at Naria Motel, a place where we do our podcast. And feel free to come as well and visit Naria Motel. As you're sloping down to Quality Supermarket Naria from Kampala, it's on the right hand side. Turn your right and immediately turn your left and slope down to Naria Motel. Yes, tell us about Pragma.
Mom.
Pragma Mom.
Okay.
We're going to hear about her story of how, and why she chose to start what she's doing today.
Okay.
She's been moving at a fast speed. And when she talks to you about this information, she's been through it. She's a young woman and who has already got her sense of direction on what she wants to be. And you can also be that same way as a woman. Pragma
Mom.
Mom. What is
Oh my
behind
God.
Pragma Mom and what inspired you?
Yeah.
To
My
start
heart
Pragma
is
Mom?
even smiling.
Yes.
So Pragma means unconditional love.
Unconditional
And then
love
mom means mother. So it
Yes.
is unconditional love for mothers.
for mothers.
And I think I've told you earlier that in my journey, I found out that there is something called the postpartum period.
Yes.
And this is the time between someone leaves hospital after giving birth
Yeah.
until when they navigate the in-betweens.
Yeah.
So you give birth to a child. You know, there's a quote that says that we are all experiencing life for the first time. That is
Yeah.
why it hits so hard.
Yeah.
First time carrying a child, first time giving birth with your boyfriend, man, husband. First time to all of you.
Yeah.
And the doctor is like, congratulations,
Yes.
get your child, go home.
With no qualifications.
No paper, no manual, no guide, nothing.
Yes.
And yeah, I had to take time to understand how crazy that road is as well. And for me, it was because, as in hospitals, delivering mothers, and their babies were dying.
Yeah.
Some of the moms were dying. And I kept asking them or their families that, okay, what happened to the child? And they would tell me, I put mushroom soup on the cord when the baby was 2 weeks and the baby died.
Mhm.
I put cow dung and the baby died.
Yeah.
She bled from the bed. I found her dead.
Mhm.
So it's like, there is a problem. There is a problem between the time they leave hospital
Yeah.
to the time they come back home because they are still not well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'll give an example of a C-section. They cut over 6 layers.
Yeah.
6.
Deeper.
Imagine as a man, deeper. They
Yeah.
cut you 6 layers. You'd
Yeah.
be home resting. For 2 months, your wife is making you katogo in the morning
Everything.
and juice. Now this person is discharged. Same exact thing. They are washing, they are cooking, they're taking care of you.
Yeah.
Because that is what society is teaching. But it shouldn't be that way. The postpartum period is a special period for someone to heal
Yeah.
mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially.
Financially, yes.
For both the husband and the wife. So at first, I was more focused on the woman, the health they need in the time, what they need to eat. I made quite some research. I was so lucky to meet different people in different countries that
Yeah.
also realized it's a problem.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you that it's not Uganda only.
It's everywhere, global.
It's
a
a
global
problem
yeah.
because everyone feels like you're able to do it. So I got in position with people that we made research on what mothers need. And so that is what Pragma Mom does. We offer postpartum support
Yeah.
in the first 6 weeks, where we want you to get clear properly and then you can move the journey. And it is for both parents.
Yeah.
At first, it was for moms only. But then I personally realized that fathers are dying
Yeah.
from the inside. I met a husband in the early days. I was doing Pragma Mom and he was crying. I had never seen a man cry.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening? And he's, I don't know. My wife is bleeding. The baby cries all night. I have to get money. I would buy diapers every. It's so crazy. I need help.
Yeah.
That is when we also knew that mental health plays a big part in this journey. So as Pragma Mom, we come in after the hospital has let you go.
Yeah.
But you still need to figure out a lot of things. That is when we come in to support you in all aspects.
Yeah.
Be it what you're supposed to eat, what you're supposed to do, health monitoring.
Yeah.
Mothers are dying because of headaches. And I think you've seen it on the internet.
So common that she had headache all through for the past after week leaving
And she
hospital.
died.
And she dies. I've had 2 cases
And
that
it's
have who's my friends
hypertension.
passed on because of that. The
Yes.
headache, they say they got headache and for the 2 weeks after leaving hospital and they leave their children.
It's hypertension.
Yeah.
Because we don't know and we don't care.
Yeah.
And also the hospitals do not have the ability to
yes.
keep you for that long.
Yeah.
So now for us, that is what we are figuring out. You're home, we need to know your BP, your glucose. What are you eating? How are you eating it?
Yeah.
Is your husband okay? Are you guys talking about sex? Do you need therapy? Do we need a savings account?
Yeah.
Because also money is a problem.
Yeah.
Babies put on, most men say that the money that buys diapers can build a house.
Yeah, and it's really, really heavy.
Exactly. So now you start fighting about diapers. Imagine.
Yeah. And yet you can't afford. But again, we still have the nappies. Are those the nappies or something? The cheaper ones?
They no longer work. I want to tell you that.
But they work. The nappies,
No.
diapers are disposables. For us, we grew up in nappies. Really,
Nappies
that
no
were
longer
wash
work.
and they put them
And also, do you know why we don't have very smooth skins behind there? It's because nappies were so irritable.
So you mean my age, who grew up in the nappies? Our behinds are rough.
Not as soft as.
Interesting.
Not as smooth as.
Not as smooth as the modern ones.
Yes,
so
because
everybody
they are
who's
so
born in the
irritable.
70s and the 60s and the 70s,
Yes.
we need to check your to find out the difference. So if you look at somebody, you'll know that these were born in the 70s.
Yeah, but that aside, they are very irritable because they don't take away, they keep in. So when a baby is urinating, the urine keeps in one place.
Yeah.
They are very susceptible to infections and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to avoid them. And now we go to the disposables, which are quite expensive.
Yeah.
And a baby can use like 7 a day.
Yeah.
So all those things that parents don't know happen. Because parenting is something that no one wants to talk about. After you getting through it, you don't want to tell your neighbor what happened and how it happens. Yeah. So now we took up the responsibility to teach you about the early days, because they are the critical days. They are the foundation. I have, oh my God, and this was so sad to me.
Yeah.
At first, I decided to work with 5 moms to understand exactly the problems they're facing.
Yeah.
And one of the moms that I met was a mom who got a mental disorder that I came to learn about after that it was a psychosis. It's called hyperopsychosis. And she strangled her child. Dead. Like herself dead.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to do it, but it happened. And now she's living with that guilt.
And in this case, they take you to jail.
Yes.
That you've murdered your own child.
Yeah. Not knowing that she was carrying a lot on her head.
Yeah.
Husband disappeared. Like there was a lot she had to process.
So she was not prepared for the aftermath.
Exactly.
Of giving birth.
Exactly. She only needed someone to sit her down to tell her that, you know what, I got you. We are going to navigate this together. Yeah. And at Pragma Mom, we say that we navigate the postpartum period together. Every step all the way, because we know. You know why it was easier in the olden days?
Yeah.
Because our families were there.
Were there, or mothers or
Your mother-in-law would
mother-in-laws
come
has
with
come
katogo
there,
and
should be there.
katumkuma.
You've even been there home in the, at the homestead, and
Yes,
they would check on
exactly.
you, take care of you, and know
Yes,
your mother. But these days, we're in our houses. Sometimes
yes.
we've given birth when our parents don't know.
Thank you.
The mothers have been,
Thank you.
discarded and
Yeah,
rejected because you gave birth before you got married. And
exactly.
maybe by the time you give birth, you already have friction with your in-laws,
Yes,
as
yes.
you know. And
There's
this
a
case,
lot
yes,
going
in
on.
this case, I would want us to know the woman out there who is watching us, the woman.
Yes,
How do you tell a woman who is preparing? Let's say that we have the modern woman now,
yes, yes.
who is also preparing to give birth. As you said, we need to plan.
Yes, we need to
Should
plan.
your services, for example, be
Yes,
put among the plans?
yes,
If you are out there looking at getting pregnant as a mother out there, would you think that this woman should know that she should have somebody
yes,
of your nature
yes,
to take care of her after giving birth?
yes,
She should prepare that in the next 6 months,
yes,
if she can afford. Let's say
yes.
that
Yeah, yeah.
it's because it's a cost.
Yes,
It's money. It's a cost.
Yes.
Should somebody know?
Mm-hmm.
Because in this case, we're looking at, I'm going to give birth.
Yes.
I need a maid.
Yes.
I go to Arua.
Yes.
I go to Busoga.
Yes.
I go to Ankole.
Yes.
And pick a maid
Yes.
to take care of me.
True.
In among the maids that you need,
Yes.
you need services of, how do you call,
Pragma mom.
pragma mom. You need a
Yes.
pragma mom.
Yes.
And a pragma mom, you need to know what a pragma mom is for.
Yes.
Some of you would say, oh, it's expensive, but you need this person actually to take you through for the period
Yeah.
of 6 months.
So actually, we are so grateful for the work the home helps and
Yeah.
servants and
Yeah.
do. It's
Yeah.
very amazing.
Yeah.
Also, I thought about it in that way.
Yeah.
At the start, I'm like, okay, I need to teach maids how
Yeah.
to care for babies. I
Yeah.
need to empower them. But you're going to find that one, we use very young people.
Yeah.
Very young people, 14, 16, they really don't care.
Yeah.
And
Even
they
20
can't-
when they're
Yes,
ignorant.
they
don't know
can't
much.
contain the knowledge of knowing that
Yeah.
I have used this machine to know her blood pressure.
Yeah.
It is 200 over this, she's dying.
Yeah.
That is where the difference is with professional support.
Yeah.
I am not dismissive of maids,
Yeah.
but we use qualified professional nurses
Yeah.
and midwives that went to school and got certified. And we also take them through a postpartum training
Yeah.
to care for you and understand your needs. Now, that is when the difference comes in. Quite a lot of people say that it is expensive, but it is cheaper than your baby's life.
Yeah.
I
And
have
you're online.
I've interacted with moms that, in fact, recently on TikTok, there was a mother who was saying she left her child with a maid and found the child dead.
Yeah.
I am so sure that maid didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
100% sure.
Yeah.
Because she didn't. How would she tell?
Maybe she left the child in bed and
Sleeping,
sleeping.
and the clothes
It's
or
strangled,
something,
yeah.
or the child got
or
something.
choked, even got choked.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And I know money is a very, very big factor to us as Africans,
Yeah.
but there's something more expensive. I've seen a lot of people that tell us that why would you buy a TV of 2 million and carry it on a border like this?
Yeah.
And then you get knocked down.
Even 4 million.
And then you
Yes.
get knocked down. So
Yeah.
you can't carry a precious child
Yeah.
for 9 months. You go to a very good hospital.
Yeah.
You pay very good money. You take care of yourself. You buy very nice clothes. You even do a baby shower.
Yes. That's money spent.
Money spent.
And then you can't have
And then you can't have professional support
after
giving
you're leaving
birth.
hospital.
Yes, you're costing yourself a lot of things, a lot. I have a lot of stories that I can say about people that I've seen. There's a mother I saw who's a maid dropped her child from here to downstairs. The child is still alive, but with a mental disorder.
Yeah.
They can't function.
Yeah.
All because you wanted to pay the maid 60K.
Yeah.
And I'm not even blaming these young girls because they don't know.
Yeah.
We all need, it's like you saying that because gynecologists are expensive, you're going to go to a baba. Because they all use blades, you go to a baba for surgery.
No,
You
yeah.
cannot.
You cannot.
So
yeah.
there is expertise in everything. And I would urge all Ugandans to appreciate expertise more in this
Yeah.
era that we are
Yeah.
in. There's a lot of scam. Everyone is coming out to be a nutritionist.
Yeah.
Something like everyone is saying they know something.
Yeah.
But there's beauty in expertise, and it is going
Yeah.
to save you a lot of money. So yeah.
So the husbands out there, as you're preparing to have your wife give birth, it is simple. Look at what your wife needs. If your wife is going through the gestation period after giving birth, at least give her a service of 6 months for somebody who is out there to take care of her, to go through that process.
Yes.
You may be busy, husband. It's acceptable. And even you, the husband, doesn't know. The husband doesn't know. Get somebody on board. Make sure that as you pay this a lot of money to your wife giving birth, spend some money
Yes.
to make sure that she's given knowledge. Or you may not afford her services. And you're like, you know what? We have our household who is cheaper. Involve her for 1 month. Let's say, I can't afford 6 months with you, but can you train our household? I know you can do that.
Yes, yes.
Training
yes,
the
so
household
teach
on what she's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then she comes up on the retainer basis. Maybe you can say, always come in once a week or once a month
Yeah.
to check on us, and we'll pay
Yeah.
for your services. In this case, you're giving value to your child and value to
Your
your
wife.
wife as well.
And
And
even
yourself as well,
yourself,
because you
yeah.
reduce that stress that you go through
Yes.
while helping your wife. Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's really, really amazing. And I'm sure that our viewers would know that these services really are
They
important.
do exist in Kampala,
Yes, they
Uganda,
do.
yes.
And we don't know that it is important. And it's
Yeah.
also at a planning stage.
Yes.
When you're getting to get pregnant, also it's a planning. As you plan for your wedding,
Yes. Yes.
as you plan for your expensive weddings,
Yes.
it's so sad that so many people plan for millions and millions of money of weddings.
And people come and eat their food and leave them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, yes, she's going to give birth, we're going to spend 3 million or 4 million in hospital.
Yes.
And then we know also 1.5 million or 2
You
million
need support.
support after her giving birth.
Yes. you need
Wow, it's amazing.
support.
And
Yeah.
and this gives me that our country is also developing.
It is,
Yeah.
and we are so happy. Another thing I want to talk about when it
Yeah.
comes to Pragma Mom is we have support groups. There is my mother out there who
Yeah.
is not understanding the language of money,
Yeah.
and I sympathize with her a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
We have different support groups where we meet up with different moms and teach them.
Yeah.
Because the biggest struggle we are having as young moms, as African moms, as Ugandan moms is knowledge.
Yeah.
We sit down with you, take you through, teach you. There's a lot of things. I cannot only share enough, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I've learned in my experience selecting men. There's sickle cells. There's a region in Uganda here
Yeah. Yeah.
that is struggling with sickle cells,
A
and they're
region.
calling it witchcraft.
A region.
Yes, which I won't mention
Yeah.
for issues of not being attacked,
Yeah.
because it will be so tribal. But they're calling it witchcraft.
Yeah.
But it is because they're marrying each other
Yeah.
and they're all carrying the same exact thing. Recently, we are having a lot of miscarriages because of resource factors. Some people are negative, some people are positive. You're not supposed to get married to each other.
Yeah.
And we don't know all this information. So my call, and I believe this is my call, is to share as much knowledge as I have.
Yeah.
And me, I call it a fight. A lot of people say advocate for mothers. For me, it is a fight.
It's a fight.
Because everything new to our system has to be a fight. There's someone that fought for what is happening here. A man and a woman to be both seated on chairs.
Yeah, true.
I would be on the ground kneeling.
Yeah.
But someone fought for it.
Yeah.
So to me, it is a fight of we need knowledge
Yeah.
in the maternal and newborn sector, and also as fathers to be involved. So we have support groups. If you feel like they're talking money, me, I don't know money languages, it's okay. Where are you located?
Yeah.
There's a support group right where you are. You just have to come together. We go to hospitals, we teach this information, and I also can't blame health workers because it is not in the country.
Yeah.
I tried doing a course in postpartum care in UG, and it wasn't there.
It's not there.
I either had to do it online or move out of the country. Could I afford to move?
Yeah, no.
But I fought to get the knowledge, and that is what I am giving out today.
Yeah.
And I urge all people out there that feel like they need to share this, to spread. Let this be gospel truth.
Yeah.
Share, like, spread, just keep sharing this information, because we need it as young people, as old people, as people that are planning to give birth, as people that have given birth. There's a lot that we need to know, and together we can fight maternal death, newborn death, father stress and depression. There's a lot of suicide in men.
Yeah, a lot, because of the
A lot of suicide in men. Our husbands are killing themselves because they don't have money. Can you imagine? And then he lives with 4 children.
For 5 children, and each
Exactly.
each year a woman gets pregnant because she loves children, and they can't afford it.
But you know why?
Yeah.
He could not afford 5K of lunch.
Yeah, and then for you say, me, I love children, and yet
Exactly.
your partner
can't
afford
afford.
them.
So let's
Yeah.
work together. Let's work together. When it comes to children, we both own children. There's an African mindset of women give birth, omwana wa musajja.
Yeah.
It is not true. We are both responsible for our children.
And then let him know that you can't
Yes.
afford 8
Thank
children.
you. Yeah.
Because we're bringing more children who are suffering in this world.
Yes. Oh, agree. Tell
Yeah.
him, babe, if you ever raise money that can build an arcade, I'm
Yes.
giving you 8.
Yes.
Because our biggest struggle is
money.
finances.
And every day becomes tough. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys. And in this case, guys, I would want you, a mother out there. Chloe is going to give us pro bono services.
Yes.
She's going to give us, she's committing today that she's going to give 4 women. You're out there and you're planning to give birth.
Yes.
And you want her to be the person to walk you the journey after your birth. She's going to give you a free service. Write or DM me and say, I would like Chloe. I'm preparing to give birth. Or in the next 1 year, I'll be becoming a mother and I would want to get in touch with Chloe to show me what to do. 4 mothers that are going to go through this process and will give you the pro bono services right from her, as she loves what she does out of compassion. So please write to me or DM me, or even if you're out there, share our information. Share this video on your platforms for a mother who will land on it and should know that actually this happens. Yeah. You'd have supported us. You'd have supported our podcast in any way that you'd feel. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to Chloe. And in few words, would like her to talk to a mother out there with her concluding words. Chloe, in few words, what do you have to tell us?
Very few words.
Yes.
Mothers out there, I love you so much. I hold you dearly on my heart. I can't reach all of you, but I pray that we fight this together. Fathers out there, let's work with women. Let's not look at women as people that can figure out motherhood. We are a community, and God has empowered all of us to figure this out together. Thank you so much for listening in and being part of this podcast. My name is Kayaga Florence Chloe. All my socials have Kayaga Chloe. Pragmamam.com if you want to look at our content. Pragmamam TikTok, Pragmamam Instagram, and LinkedIn. Bye-bye.
Great. Give us your number. Or, it would be fair, really, if you give us a contact. And for these guys, whenever you see her contact is only purposely for the information we're sharing here, and her number should not be misused. I'd request our viewers that please only use it for that purpose. Please don't call me asking for children. I don't have. My number is 07708257882. 07708257882. Those who want it in Luganda, I don't know how to say it in Luganda. Then my Airtel is 0701462677. Thank you so much. It's once again a pleasure having Chloe. Thank you so much in a special way. Thank you so much for having me. Very busy schedule, and we appreciate you. It's a pleasure sharing with the world. And Pragma, we wish Pragma a very, very great, that your mission, you should be able to expound your information and then also create more impact in our communities. And at your age, I'm very impressed. I'm very honored. I'm very proud to be associated with you. And we hope that the value you're creating should be able to touch the lives of many. And for those who are out there and you'd want to support Pragma, she's right here. You could be there in the state, in USA, in Canada, in the UK, in Uganda here, and you feel that whatever she's doing, you would be able to be part of her journey, and you'd like to support her organization, Pragma. Please get in touch with us or share your email as well. Oh, my email is kayagachloe@gmail.com. Chloe is CHLOE. Great. And if you've not got any information, please write the DM or DM me or write down right here, and we'll be able to make sure that we get the information that you need from Chloe. So thank you so much. Have a great day and all the best. Bye-bye.